We've been examining the Steven Spielberg Lincoln trailer, I'm sure, since it premiered on Thursday. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think he might have really he knocked it out of the park, at least from the trailer. You know, people talk about, so far this year, Moonrise Kingdom and Beast of the Southern Wild have been the films that have been talked about as far as Oscars go. There has not been a lot of talk about, Oscars, except for those two films, from what I see.
And The Master, right?
Well, The Master, I'm just saying what I've seen, but The Master, I would say it looks like it could be a head-to-head with The Master and Lincoln. It also depends on the Silver Linings Playbook, which one big at Toronto.
Yeah, that's a big.
Argo is another one that I wouldn't rule out, but I think Lincoln is the front runner.
I've always said it was the front runner ever since they announced it. And well, the year that comes out, that's going to win Best Picture. It's just one of those things. I just feel it's going to win.
So, gentlemen, do we have two presidents running for Best Picture in the Best Picture category? I do think Murray will get nominated for FDR for High.
I think the film will get nominated, but he will.
He will definitely get nominated, and obviously Daniel Day-Lewis is a shoo-in. And I mean, right now, Daniel Day-Lewis is the one to beat, because once again, he is playing someone. It's not caricature, it's not imitation. He fully becomes Lincoln. It's actually rather frightening how much.
There are some moments in that trailer. There's like a little 2-second shot of him sitting on a porch, and I'm like, oh my God. I mean, it's a complete embodiment of what we believe Abraham Lincoln to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it really is. It's going to be something extraordinary. I'll tell you, I'm so excited about it. I hate the fact that there's like some sort of little mini backlash or whatever is going on with it.
What's the backlash?
Well, I guess, some people are ready to, dismiss it, really ready to dismiss it. Because it didn't follow that normal sort of marketing blitz that happens with movies. It did a very unusual thing by releasing its first trailer, like it did. So, I don't know. I think so long.
Well, I think this also speaks to like the kind of backlash going against Spielberg now, because you can watch the trailer and it does feel like totally Spielbergian, and people that are turned off by that tone are generally turned off by the movie.
Right.
Another kind of anthemic, good feeling kind of uplift Spielberg style, but the real backlash has to actually do with Daniel Day-Lewis's performance, and this might actually come into play. Is the fact that a lot of people don't like the higher register of his voice. But let's put it this way: every record of Abraham Lincoln and how he sounded, from people that wrote about him, that met him, accounts, that kind of thing, say that he had a higher register voice. Now, you look at Lincoln and you think of his accomplishments and you think, oh, it has to be this gruff, authoritative voice. But that, in reality, was not how Lincoln sounded.
Right.
So if you're playing true to who this man was, which there's no other way Daniel Day-Lewis would play it.
It is very obvious that this is about today. We do live in a divided nation, and I think that trailer speaks to that very clearly. And I think he's made something just otherworldly. I mean, I like Raymond Massey. I like, Henry Fonda's Lincoln. I even like the guy who played him in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, if you want to know the guy's honest truth. But this will not be, what I am so glad, this is not going to be one of those History Channel reject films that, I'm not talking about the history, but you saw in high school or elementary school or whatever, that Robert Redford's The Conspirator reeked of. This is the real deal. This will be very interesting.
This is the movie, I feel that this is the movie about Lincoln that we've waited for the history of movies.
I mean, it's been a long time since we've had a Lincoln movie. I mean, decades, I guess. A historically accurate Lincoln movie. I'm not talking about The Vampire Hunter. But
wait, you mean that was not historically accurate?
No.
God, no wonder people looked at me nuts.
No, they got the costumes all wrong. But that was it. Other than that, but I do think that Spielberg's a great choice to do it, and it has a great screenwriter. I mean, it has Tony Kushner, Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright. and I think it's as pedigreed as you could possibly get. I'm actually glad that this movie found life in this incarnation with Daniel Day-Lewis instead of a decade ago with Liam Neeson. Actually, I think it happened. The stars aligned. It happened exactly when it needed to happen. Because honestly, even for people that wouldn't be interested in watching a Lincoln movie necessarily, I think that Daniel Day-Lewis and a chance to see him disappear again is incentive enough to go see this movie. That makes it an event beyond Spielberg Lincoln. I think if Liam Neeson were the lead, it would not have been as much of an event.
Well, no, I
completely agree.
It had to kidnap Mary Todd Lincoln, and then he had people and everyone.
Mary's been taken.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I think the idea of Spielberg working. Let's be very honest. Daniel Day-Lewis is probably one of the greatest living actors right now. I mean, there's no one. You could not really compare him to anyone alive right now.
That's kind of true.
He is very unique. He doesn't always pick stuff that's out of the park. I mean, he picks some very, like The Boxer, a lot of people thought was a retread of In the Name of the Father, although I thought it was a wonderful movie. Stars and Bars is good. The Crucible. I mean, not always, when he he doesn't always pick, he picks high-profile movies, or The Ballad of Jack and Rose.
Jack and Rose,
yeah. I mean, that went nowhere. I liked it. It was very interesting. But he is so good at just disappearing into these totally different characters.
Yeah, he's a ridiculously fascinating talent. And you're right. It looks like anything that he comes out with these days is completely an event already, really. I mean,
the only thing missing from his resume, the only thing missing from his resume, he needs to make a film for Terrence Malick. The two of them working together would be... Oh my God!
A black hole would open up.
Either him or Michael Cimino, one of the two.
I think that Daniel Day-Lewis needs to know what he's doing. Yeah, I mean, he needs to know the context. He needs to know what he's doing. I don't know that his working method would necessarily mesh with Malick.
But I would be a fly on the wall.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, fascinating. The results of that would be fascinating. I just would hate to see Daniel Day-Lewis be in a Terrence Malick movie, and then the Malick movie comes out, and Daniel Day-Lewis is nowhere to be found in it because he'd be cut out.
It's just a bunch of shots of geese flying and stuff. That's all it is.
I thought I was in this movie. Terry, baby, Terry. Why are there geese? Where am I in this movie? Help me out here. Really?
Yeah.
Do they have a better agent than me? What? Come on, help me out.
So we all predict that come Oscar time, Daniel Day-Lewis could very well drink Oscar's milkshake.
I think
absolutely.
Right now it does look like, like you said, The Master and this, and it's going to depend on some other high-profile movies coming out in the next couple of weeks. I don't know if it's anything. I would welcome, though, as far as supporting actor, I would welcome Bruce Willis for Moonrise Kingdom. I think that is a staggeringly awesome performance. That Bruce Willis and Wes Anderson are not two names that go together normally, and he just gives such a moving performance in that film that I think that is, of all the performances in that film, I think that is the one that really, and obviously the two leads, the two kids. But I think Bruce Willis's performance is just incredible in that movie.
What's going to be interesting is if in The Master, Philip Seymour Hoffman gets a nomination, Joaquin Phoenix gets a nomination, how they'll divide that up. Because I guess Hoffman would be supporting actor, even though he.
They're actually really co-leads in the movie. I mean, from what I hear, I mean they both have exactly the same amount of screen time. They're both just as integral to the story. So my guess is that they'll both go in the Best Actor slot.
Well, it depends on how they campaign for them.
If they campaign for it, but it would be a trick. We all know that they're both lead.
Well, let me ask you this. Thelma and Louise, weren't both of them in the Best Actress category?
Sure, it happens all the time. I mean, it hasn't happened a lot recently, but it happens.
But they'll do this because they want both of them to have an equal shot at getting the award. So, I mean, the Weinstein Company could easily say, we're not in the race for Best Actor for Hoffman. We're in the race for Best Supporting Actor for Hoffman. Because we want to spread the love. But as far as it goes right now, in terms of the Best Actor race, the only competition that I see Daniel Day-Lewis having from early word is Joaquin.
That's the
well, you're going to have
fascinating
John
race.
Hawks in there for the
Oh,
session.
yeah.
You know, you're going to have that in there, and then who knows? This Silver Lining Playbook thing is the new
Well, I mean
sort of
competition and who could. I'm talking
in
competition and who could beat him. I mean, there's going to be 5 nominees.
Do you think, now let me ask you this, and I'm sorry, Dean, I did not hear you. Did anyone mention Denzel Washington for Flight?
Yes, that's another one too.
Okay, that is something I would not rule out, because this is these movies coming out in the next couple months, how they play out. I mean, Argo, I wouldn't rule Argo out. I would not rule out Les Mis.
I think you're going to see Alan
Cannibal on the
Arkin get a
Road.
nomination for Argo.
Yeah, me too. I think it'll get a supporting nom, maybe a screenplay and a director. But you just said a title, Jerry.
I said, Les Mis.
Oh, Les Mis. Yeah, that's going to be a big
possibility.
Player.
That's
I am glad to see Sally Field in a big high-profile movie again.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, that whole generation has been relegated to seeing her just on whatever that Brothers and Sisters show was, and doing osteoporosis commercials. So
no, that's true. I agree with you there, because she here is a wonderful actress, Norma Rae. I mean, just a lot of places in the heart. And let's not forget, she really was probably one of Burt Reynolds' best leading ladies.
Oh yeah.
I mean, let's not
really
forget that.
Her. Remember a few years ago she did this movie called, I guess it was in the late 80s or early 90s, called Not Without My Daughter.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Well, they could remake that now. I mean, it's timely enough.
That was I thought that was a really good movie. I don't particularly like the title, but the movie is really good, and she's excellent in it.
Mm-hmm.
Not Without My Daughter sounds like a Lifetime movie.
Today it would be. I mean, if you made it today, it would be
a bad
Lifetime.
title.